I want to be completely transparent with all of you because I don't want you guys to come into this video and expecting to see something that you won't. You're not going to see me skydiving, you're not going to see me mountain climbing, you're not going to see me dirt biking, running a marathon. Like, do I look like I run marathons? The most action you're probably going to get out of me is running to the pantry to grab a bag of chips. But yeah, so don't come into this video expecting to see any of that sort of stuff because I'm just not that type of person. But what I do like to do is I like to capture moments. It's in the name, right? So I like to capture moments. And if there's a company out there that releases a product that lets me capture moments easier, I am willing to give it a go. So this is more directed towards people who want to use this as an everyday camera. And by all means, it's an action camera, right? So you're going to use it for action. And I have no doubt in my mind that this is probably one of the best cameras to use for said action. But yeah, mostly for people who want to use it for everyday stuff, vlogging, all that type of thing. All right, so let's start with the design. Overall, it's an okay design. It's small, a little bit heavy, so it feels sturdy, it feels premium, it feels like it could take a hit. So it feels very robust and well built. I mean, when you compare it to the likes of like the Osmo Nano, it's very heavy, but the Nano is also like almost half the size of this thing. So it's a little bit bigger than the previous iterations. The lens is a little bit bigger, but it's got bigger features, which we'll get to in a bit. You've got the big OLED screen on the back, another smaller OLED screen on the front. Either way you're facing it, you can see what you're filming. You can frame up your shots really well. The lens protector is also removable, so if you scratch your lens you can easily just buy a replacement, so that's really handy to have. The only buttons on this thing are the ones on the top, record, which you can also use to just turn it on really quickly and start recording straight away, and you've got your quick shot button on the side which changes through your modes, or you can customize it to do whatever you want, and also powers the camera on and off. It's got two little sliding doors. Now there's one sliding door here that opens up, revealing a USB-C port. You can charge the camera from there, and you also plug it into your PC to get the internal footage off the camera. And you've also got this sliding door, this big one here on this side, which reveals the removable battery and your SD card slot. Now, if you watched my unboxing of this camera, you will remember that I had troubles operating these doors. Now I'm probably just retarded, but yeah, I'm not sure what the previous design was, but it's a little bit finicky where you've got to slide it across and then push the door up. I think they've changed the design recently for the people who use it underwater, because I think the doors would open accidentally and would let the water in here, which is not good. So yeah, I don't know, I have trouble opening it, but that's just me. Again, I'm probably stupid. On the bottom you've got the mounting points to mount your accessories and things on the bottom. It's also magnetized, so you could stick it to something metal, maybe a pole or something if you'd like. Yeah, I mean, overall there is a little bit of, I feel like there's a lack of color on this iteration. On the previous ones they had a little splash of like red or orange in the wordings and some silver. So to me, yeah, it's a bit boring, but yeah, it's just something small. It's not too big of a deal. It doesn't affect the operation of the camera at all, but I just like a bit of splash of color on my products, I guess. So yeah. All right, so the camera it's a brand new CMOS sensor, 1/1.1 inch, and it's also square now. So the square sensor allows you to do a few more things that I'll get into in a second. The big thing is it's got a variable aperture on this camera. I think it's the first variable aperture on an action camera in the world, so that's pretty cool. But you know, the new variable aperture, it can go from f2.0 to f4.0, so it allows the camera to let more light in, which makes it operate better in low lighting, or stop light from coming in if it's too bright. I do worry about the longevity of this because it's mechanical, and this camera is supposed to take a beating. It's an action camera, right? So it's going to have a lot of vibrations. It's going to maybe have some falls. So you got to wonder how long this is going to last. If there are going to be any issues in the future, we'll have to wait and see. You can do 4K 60 or 4K 120 for slow-mo shots. And there's also a new custom mode. Now, like I said, there's a new square sensor. So this new custom mode allows you to frame up your shots later in post, whether you want to do it 1:1 or 60:9, 4:3. It gives you that freedom to choose in post what you want. So the features of this camera, you've got all your standard modes. You've got photo mode, you've got video mode, and they all offer different forms of rock steady plus, depending on the intensity of your activities. You got different fields of view for those modes. You got standard D-warp, natural wide, ultra wide, and you've also got horizon steady. With this new model, you can actually use horizon steady in 4K, because in the previous ones you could only put it in 2.7K. So now you can use horizon steady up to 4K, which is really, really good. You've got the pre-recording mode up to 5 minutes, and you've also got loop recording, which offers 5 minutes, 20 minutes, and an hour. And like the previous models, you've also got voice control. Also on this model is the new gesture control. They've also, which is really good, they've implemented the option to, with the gesture control, you can choose whether it starts and stops recording or just starts recording. I did find sometimes using the gesture control that maybe I would be talking about something behind me and I would be waving my hand like this, and it actually registered that my hand was up and it stopped recording. So that can sometimes be an issue, but again, they have implemented the option to choose whether you want to have it start and stop or just start. So that's good. It's got direct wireless microphone connection. So my other DJI mic is linked to this at the moment. So if your microphone's on, turn the camera on, it connects straight away, which is really, really cool. You got lossless 2x zoom. You can, again, with the new variable aperture, you can choose your aperture. There's options to choose fixed f2.8, which is what most action cameras are set to on a fixed aperture. Or you can go fixed f4, and you can choose auto mode, which is what I normally have, which is just f2 to f4. You've got the ability to lock your aspect ratio, which is really handy if you move the camera around a lot. If you quick start it up, it's not going to be locked to portrait or landscape, whatever you want to do it on. You can have the ability to always have it record in landscape or portrait, and also that's how you choose your custom mode, which allows you to choose what aspect you want it in post. It's got a subject tracking mode, so obviously the camera itself doesn't move on a gimbal or anything, but if it's a wide shot, the subject tracking will keep you in, or your subject center in the frame, which is, I suppose, good to have if maybe you're skiing or doing something really rough. It's going to keep you always in the center. It's got normal waterproof up to 20 meters, and you can go up to 60 meters with a case. So that's pretty standard when it comes to most DJI cameras. And of course, you got the ability to pair it with your Mimo app on your phone. I mean, I don't really use the Mimo app to view my footage live as it's happening, because these screens are really good. It's big, the back screen's big enough, front screen's okay. If you're talking to yourself, you make sure your head's in the frame. The only real reason I use the Mimo app is to grab the footage from the phone, and you can also choose the custom aspect ratio you want from the custom mode as well. So that's really only what I use the Mimo app for. There's also a mode called Super Night Mode. This mode is used obviously when you're in a low light setting, and because of the bigger sensor now and the variable aperture, which is a big factor, the low light in Super Night Mode is pretty decent. It's quite good. There's not as much noise compared to the previous models. I come from the Action 3, and the noise on that camera was absolutely horrible, and it's a huge difference compared to this camera. So yeah, low light is quite good, although I will say still I think Insta360 are king of low light at the moment. Even on their Go Ultra model, that tiny camera, the low light on it is amazing. And I have heard from a camera friend that the Ace Pro 2 is phenomenal in the low light setting, but again, perfectly usable in low light. It's decent. Battery. The battery is in here. It's a 1950 milliamp hour battery, which is the bigger battery, I believe. And DJI advertised that you can get 4 hours in cold weather with this battery. That is under 1080p at 24 frames a second. So you're not going to get 4 hours if you're recording at 4K, which I would hope most people do. With me, I always record at 4K 30, and I typically got around 2 hours out of a full battery. So 4K 30 is pretty average. Hopefully 2 hours out of a full battery. And if 2 hours isn't enough for you, the Adventure Combo, which is what I have, comes with a charging case and 2 extra batteries. And also you can use it to power, it's reverse as well, reverse cycle, I don't know what you call it, but you can use it to charge your phone or whatever. So extra batteries are always good. Okay, so storage on this thing, internal storage is 50 gigabytes or 49 gigabytes, it's one of those. But it's only up from the previous one was 47 gigabytes, so it's a tiny bump, but more is always better, I guess. The Action 4 didn't have any internal storage, so I really think the DJI are going in the right direction, putting internal storage in their cameras. The first time I tested this camera, I completely forgot an SD card. I went 10 minutes down the road and I thought, oh my god, I forgot an SD card, but internal storage for the win. So thank you DJI for implementing internal storage in your new cameras. And you can also have a SD card in here up to 1 terabyte. Okay, so the combos you can get for this camera, there are a lot of combos you can buy. I will try to list all of them here, I guess, but the standard combos, so basically I guess you'd say just the camera and the battery, you can pick that up for 379 euros. It also comes with a tiny mount for the bottom and a USB-C cable to charge it. The combo I picked up was the Adventure Combo, which I think would probably be the most popular. It comes with the camera, you've got 3 batteries, the charging case. It comes also with a 1.5 meter selfie stick. So this thing is the GOAT. It's amazing. I always use this thing. And I really think with the extra batteries and the stick, for 100 extra euros, I think the value is there. I think it's a really good purchase. And there's also a whole bunch of other combos you can get, depending on what kind of activity you like doing. If you like cycling, if you like hiking, if you're a vlogger, I think there's a combo where you can just buy it for you around your neck. It comes with like a necklace thing. There's ones for diving, and yeah, there's plenty of options you can pick from, and they all come with different accessories for the activity you want to do. So the downsides of the camera, I would say there's not many, if any, really. Again, the lack of color. It's a tiny thing to complain about, but would it have killed them to splash a little bit of color on it? Probably not, but it's not a big deal. It doesn't affect the operation of the camera. I just think it looks very bland, and I remember seeing a leak of this camera on, I think it was on Twitter or X, whatever you call it, and there was no color on the wordings, and I thought, oh yeah, that's just a prototype. Obviously it's going to look different, and yeah, it still looks like, for me, it looks like a prototype. Not a big deal. Again, I just like a little bit of pop with my products. Also, at the moment it's very cold, so I wear gloves, and the gloves I have on are wool, and obviously you can't do touch interactions with the screen, so that kind of sucks. There's no capacitive, is that the word? Capacitive buttons that you can use to select different settings, like maybe on the DJI Neo 2 that you can use. But again, that's a small tiny thing. Is if you're wearing gloves, if you're not wearing gloves, not a big deal. There was one time that I was filming when I was taking some photos in the park, and the recording just abruptly stopped, and I didn't know why, and I didn't realize that it happened. And I looked it up, and apparently there's an issue at the moment with recording to the SD card. If the file sizes are around 15 gigabytes, it will stop recording. So that kind of sucks. Doesn't do it on the internal storage though. I have recorded on the internal storage and it never cut out. I thought it was maybe a heat issue, overheating issue, but obviously, I mean, it's cold at the moment, so I didn't think that was probably it. But yeah, again, I looked it up and they have an issue with the larger files. Instead of splitting the files and just starting a new one, it just stops recording completely. So I'm sure it'll probably be fixed soon, sometime soon in the future, with a firmware update. Another big downside, obviously, is for my friends in the US. can't get these cameras from the DJI store directly. It's a real shame. Like, DJI have been freaking cooking this year, and they've brought out all these awesome products. I feel like Trump was like, no more Chinese products, and DJI were like, are you sure you want to do that? Are you sure you want to do that? And then he was like, yep. And then they said, okay, that's your funeral. And then all these things come out. I mean, we've had the DJI Neo 2, Osmo Action 6, Osmo Nano. They've brought out a new robot vacuum cleaner. I think we're getting the Osmo Pocket 4 as well this year. Like, they've really been putting in the work this year. And yeah, it's just a shame that, you know, if you're in the US, it's not so easy to get this stuff. So that really sucks. Another issue I've also found, and I believe it's quite typical with most cameras with electronic image stabilization. So I was recording in the park a few days ago, and I had my ND filter on because I bought the ND filter set for this camera, and I had my frame rate at 30 and my shutter speed at 60. And I was going back through the footage, and I saw that every time I took a step, a lot of things in the background would get a bit of jitter. So it doesn't absorb the impacts so well when you've got, from what I can see, when you've got your shutter speed locked at a lower number, the EIS doesn't pair very well with that. And I guess it kind of tries to compensate with stabilization and low shutter speed, and it gives that little jittery effect. So I took the ND filter off and put the shutter speed on auto, and I believe it seems to fix the issue. If you do that, you are sacrificing your cinematic blurry effect, but I think the jitter is more of a problem than lack of cinematic blur, especially if you're vlogging and walking along and it sort of jitters every time you take a step. That's a crappy vlog to watch. So yeah, I think the EIS on this camera doesn't pair well with a low shutter speed. So if you find that as well, if you find the same thing as well, let me know in the comments, but I'm pretty sure it's because the EIS and the low shutter speed don't pair well. If you are seeing jitter, yeah, try and stick it on auto with no ND filter, or you can try and lock your shutter speed at a higher setting. How much? I don't know, maybe three or four times your frame rate, maybe. But yeah, again, if you think you also have that issue, let me know in the comments. So who's the camera for? Well, obviously it's for people who want to capture their sports. They want to capture their extreme activities. You know, if they want to use it for diving, if they want to use it for skiing, if they want to use it for biking, hiking, you know, blah, 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 all that sort of thing. Great camera. For vloggers, definitely, you can definitely use this camera for vlogging. It's amazing to use for vlogging, especially if you have the adventure combo, you have the stick, you just stick it out like this. You've got a tiny camera, you've got the screens on the front and the back so you can see yourself when you're recording. You've got the variable aperture now, which, you know, it improves the low lighting, the low light in this scenario. Yeah, I think it's a great, you know, it's a camera you can almost put in your pocket and just take it with you wherever you go. You've got the internal storage if you don't remember an SD card. I mean, it's really a great vlogging camera. Obviously, there's no mechanical gimbal on it, but it does have that electronic stabilization. Again, I think the jittering issue is a problem, so you may have to put that shutter speed on auto without an ND filter and sacrifice your cinematic blur, but I think it's a great camera. I think most people would probably use the camera as a vlogging camera in everything setting with auto anyway. I think people who are camera smart are probably going to use a different camera, but for like trips and things, like small trips, it's such a good camera to take with you. It's easily pocketable, it's not too heavy, it's great. As in regards to like a POV type situation, you can use it for a POV scenario. There are mounts and adapters and things you can get for it to use it in that scenario. But I feel like for me, now that the Osmo Nano has come out, or the Insta360 Go Ultra. Those cameras are so nice to like stick on your face or stick on your hat because they're so small and they're so light. They are the lightest cameras that you can have that record 4K 60. And this thing, it's not too heavy, but when you compare it to the Osmo Nano, like taking this off here, the weight is a real difference. And being able to like stick this on your hat, you barely feel that it's there. Sticking this on your hat, it might cause it to fall forwards. And with the Osmo Nano also, you've got the removable screen. So you can see the live view if you want to double check that you're framed right. You can start and stop recording with it. Obviously you can buy a remote control for this, but this comes with the Nano, right? So it's already ready to go. Obviously, no, there are no hot swappable batteries, which with this camera, that's unfortunate. So if you're going on a long road trip and you want to capture all your footage, maybe something like this would be better. But if you're going on a long road trip, I'd say you'd be sticking it on a big helmet. So it's probably not going to be that noticeable. But again, if you're riding a bicycle or doing whatever, this camera would be, I think, preferable in a POV situation. So who isn't it for? I would say probably people who want to take cinematic shots. They're not really for cinematic filmmakers, and probably scenic shots. It's not the greatest because again, it's not the biggest sensor in the world, but you know what? It's still decent. I got a few decent scenic shots with this camera. Obviously, it can't beat like a DSLR or whatever, but I do think that it's a camera. This camera is better off recording things up close, and it's not ideal for scenic shots, but again, you can use it if you want. So yeah, overall, awesome camera. We're getting ever so close to that 1-inch size sensor. The quality is great. The price for the adventure combo I think is fair. It's a reasonable price for what you get. The picture quality is decent. Again, for the size of the camera, it's really good. It's built well. It's a solid camera. It's robust. It's not really going to break, I don't think, unless you smash it on the ground, but I wouldn't advise it. It's great for sports and vloggers. It's great for vloggers as well. You can use this as a vlogging camera. Yeah, overall, it's a great little camera. I love it, and I'll be using this camera a bit more as well. I'll keep using this camera for a little bit. And yeah, if you like this video, please give it a like, give me a subscribe. Oh, I have surpassed 50 subscribers, so thank you so much for that. It really means a lot to think that, 50 of you clicked that subscribe, and it means a lot to me, so thank you so much. And I guess the next milestone is 100, so let's hope we can get there. Yeah, and I hope to see you in the next video.